All right, this is news that Lakers fans will eat up. Question is, and there's no pun intended, by the way, with that last name, eat up. Uh, I wonder if Lakers fans look at this as a positive or a negative. Most basketball people say it's great. Darvin Ham, really smart guy, played in the league, champion, has been a champion as a player and as a coach, and Dr. Jason Johnson, what he was able to accomplish, what he was able to do before he got the job. They said, okay, Kurt Rambis is not going to be in your meetings. We got that. You're allowed to pick your own coaching staff. We will not impose on you there. And you have the blessing of LeBron James. I mean, that's already he's got victories. How does Lakers fan Dr. Jason Johnson feel about this hire?
You know, let's say you've been on vacation. You've neglected your kitchen and your refrigerator for months and months and months and months because you've been out traveling all over the world. I don't care if you bring Wolfgang Puck into the kitchen. He can't make anything with the trash that you have in your refrigerator, okay? It's some old eggs. There might be some salmon frozen in the kitchen. We're black folks, so there's some salmon somewhere, right? But you can't make much with what you've got left over in the refrigerator. So it could be Darvin Ham. It could be Darvin Spice Ham. It could be Darvin Honey Baked Ham. I don't care, okay? He's not going to be able to accomplish much. There's but so far you can go with street clothes Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, and LeBron James.
Shots.
So I wasn't moved that much by this hire. I mean, I'm glad to see that with his hiring, the NBA is now at, I think, 50% African-American coaches or African-American coaches, which is great, fantastic news. But it's not going to change anything. This doesn't turn the Lakers into a playoff team. It certainly doesn't turn them into a contender. So, I think it's almost much ado about nothing.
Ooh. Wow, you are the most realistic Lakers fan that I've ever have talked to, because a lot of Lakers fans don't really quite understand that concept, and you do. And while I think a lot of us can say and can agree that super excited for Darvin Ham, he's done his time in the league. We've heard several players be super excited for him, but then when you get the news a couple of days later that Russell Westbrook is most likely still going to be with this team, they're not going to just trade him and they're not going to get the assets. As for you, what went through your mind? I mean, you've already talked about all the old food in the refrigerator, but for Russell Westbrook, and if you're going to have the same thing, what are your expectations even for this coming up season?
I don't have particularly high expectations. And I'm going to throw out this shade. I am like a lot of people who occasionally spend time in Los Angeles. They only love the team when it's good, right? Like, I know some real Lakers fans, but you can always find who the real Lakers fans are because you throw out a name like Nick Van Exel. They don't know who he is, and they only like the Lakers when they're good, right? So look, I don't have high expectations. I don't think Russell Westbrook is actually a bad player. I just don't know that he can be your number 2 or number 3 guy on a championship level team. And he's now at the point in his skill set where even if you're trying to do minutes reduction with LeBron and minutes reduction with Anthony Davis, which again, Anthony Davis is only going to give you 55, maybe 60 games out of an 82 game season if you're lucky. Russell Westbrook is no longer at the point where he can float your team and keep you at 500. So I don't know. And look, I'll be honest with you, as far as those people who care and love LA basketball like I do, the good thing about the Darvin Ham news is it got us not thinking about the terrible statement that was just put out by Liz Cambage on the Sparks. So, maybe we have something good that we can look at about LA basketball right now, because our other championship team in the past is kind of disappointing us with one of our star players.
Yeah, she was backing away from that and saying, listen, hey, that's not how it happened. Let me give you my whole explanation. That was a lot. That was a lot of talking on that statement. Let me ask you this: as a Lakers fan, as you look at the finals, where there are no Lakers involved, supposed to be, preseason, it was Nets Lakers, according to Vegas.
Right.
Both of those teams are going to be in the finals. Not happening. One team didn't make the playoffs. One team got swept out of the first round. Do you think this has? Forget about who you think is going to win. Does this have the cachet? Is it Celtics Warriors? Does that get you going? Are you going to change your schedule to make sure you get these games?
There's no schedule changing. I won't even clip from Netflix. I'll be rewatching Stranger Things before I will be paying attention to any part of this series. I'll be replaying Obi-Wan and trying to find out Easter eggs before I care about this series. The Boston Celtics are one of the most overrated and uninteresting NBA Finals teams I've seen since probably last year's Milwaukee Bucks. You have two stars that are inconsistent. I mean, you talk about Stranger Things and how the lights flicker. That's what happens to the stars on the Celtics. They flicker on, they flicker off. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. I like to see something that's going to shine the whole time. So if Jason Tatum can actually put together 6 games, that'd be great. If Jaylen Brown can put together 6 games, that'd be great. But they seem to blink on and off. I would have been more excited about seeing Eric Spoelstra take that tough, gritty 1997 throwback Miami Heat team up against the finesse Golden State Warriors than I am by this series. This is going to be over in 4 or 5 unless somebody on the Golden State Warriors sprains their ankle. I'm not all that excited.
What? First of all, you said you rather see the Miami Heat. Who's going to shoot the ball? We just saw Jimmy Butler can't be the only guy to shoot. He's going to run out of gas eventually.
Look, if you put the Miami Heat in this finals, the best shots are going to be from elbows. They ain't going to be around the basket, and I'm good with that. I'm good with that because I know they ain't got no shooters. Tyler Hero, he's a bench hero and a guitar hero. He has not turned into the 2 guard that they needed him to be to actually score one way or another. So, again, I'm not overly moved by this series. I will watch because I am a basketball fan. But you know how I feel about Steph Curry, and you know how I feel about Boston in general. So, you know, it's nothing compelling me here. Even Giannis, whose game I don't find to be beautiful, but whose character I find to be interesting, I would have been more interested in watching him and that collection of role players get swept than I am going to be by the inconsistent play of the Boston Celtics.
So you said how you feel about you said how you feel about Steph Curry in a positive way, right? You love Steph, you don't love Steph.
Look.
There's been so much stuff. There's so much stuff flying.
Look, it's peanut butter without jelly. I like sandwiches that got both sides. I like two-way players. Steph ain't never been a two-way player. He's a one-way player. He's a great shooter. He doesn't lead in steals. He doesn't lead in any of those important. I mean, Allen Iverson, at least when he wasn't big enough to defend people, he could lead in steals. Steph Curry has never been a great defender, which keeps him from being a great player. You know, you have Steph Curry. He's entertaining to watch, but Klay Thompson does all the defense, right? Draymond Green does all the defense. So this is a team that's been put together on finesse for a long time. I think for many of their series, the only reason they were able to beat the Cavaliers is because Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving were hurt. The one time that they actually had to compete against a healthy team, they got beat. Same thing ended up happening when it went against Toronto. So, I know that Golden State is going to go down as one of the greatest teams of a particular era. I do think that first year where they brought on Kevin Durant made them probably one of the best teams in the history of the NBA. But do I think that this is a legacy-changing finals for any of them? No, not at all.
Hold on.
And I don't think there's anything they can do to change it.
All right, Megan, hold on a second, Megan, because I just want to tell you, look, we're real on this show. We have a segment called Real Talk. That segment should be year-round. Okay, Real Talk. What's in your wallet? Capital One. Okay, this is a little bonus one. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go behind the curtain. Now, before the show today, Megan was like, all right, so Dr. Jason Johnson, just tell me a little something about him. I said, look, he's a man who's got a lot of opinions. I said, you can ask him anything, I promise you. Like, well, are there anything in particular? I said, no, ask him anything. Ask him anything because he's got opinions on everything. And Megan, were we right? Gary told you the same thing, Gary Carter, right?
Yeah.
You're amazed. Like, who is this guy?
I am speechless for what Dr. Johnson just said about Steph Curry, who I've praised his entire, almost 2 hours of this show. I just have no words right now. I would ask you, what do you think about the Memphis Grizzlies where I work? But I'm too scared to ask you what you think about the Memphis Grizzlies.
Don't ask.
Look, Ja Morant is my nephew's favorite player. So I can do no shade against Ja Morant. Okay. My nephew will come after me one way or another. Look, I hope that he turns out to be a fantastic transcendent player and not the next Derrick Rose, but his injury history makes me concerned. And whenever I see a team that can still be as successful as Memphis can be when their star player ain't there, is giving me real Ewing theory energy. And I hope that's not the case. Because I do think Gerard, I think he's the kind of player that makes people want to go watch a game as opposed to just look to score at the end.
Okay, that was like a compliment-ish.
Yeah.
We'll take compliment-ish. If that's what I'm working with, I'll take it.
There we go. See, I'm equal opportunity.
Hey, Doc Johnson, I wonder, we talked about this a bit yesterday. I want to get your take on it. You know, Gabe Kapler, manager of the San Francisco Giants, says, look, I'm uncomfortable with what's happening in this country, and I will not go out for the anthem until the country, I feel like the country is going in a better direction. He said that essentially, I'm exaggerating, he said that on a Sunday. On a Monday, he was like, well, hold up. It's Memorial Day. I got to go out for Memorial Day because I gotta give respect to the veterans. Then I'll resume my protest when it's more convenient tomorrow. I am wondering, what are your thoughts on his sentiment on gun violence in the country and his protests in particular?
You know, we all have that relative or that friend who's like, I'm about to go vegan. Oh, wait, it's Memorial Day weekend. Oh, wait, then we got Sunday dinner. Oh, wait, I really want to go buy Pink's hot dogs. Oh, wait, hold on, somebody dropped off a pack of ribs at my house. Look, you ain't really trying to go vegan, right? Because if you're committed to it, you got to stop at some point. If a protest is what you really want to do, as opposed to flapping your jaws, and I don't think that flapping your jaws is inherently bad, but if your goal is to actually protest, you have to do something that is disruptive, either disruptive to the norm, disruptive to people's expectations, disruptive to people's comfort. If you can keep switching back and forth, what? Is your comfort with the country magically changed on Memorial Day weekend? Is your comfort with the country changed by the fact that we found out that the police in Uvalde are now not even cooperating with state investigators? Is your comfort with the country changed about the fact that we may or may not have a situation where there's retired federal agents who may have been assisting the racist shooter in Buffalo? Come on. Either protest or don't protest. But what I find funny here is the color of the protester often seems to have a huge impact on how angry people get. Baseball is America's game. I don't see people screaming and yelling. I don't hear the former president. I don't hear senators right now screaming and yelling about this the way they did when Colin Kaepernick, who, by the way, probably won't get picked up by the Raiders, but when Colin Kaepernick was doing this, everybody treated it like it was the end of modern American sport. Now this guy can be a Gabe come lately to the situation, and I appreciate that he cares, but he ain't facing the kind of heat and consequences other people did. It's always easy to come out, put your finger to the wind, find the most popular, non-difficult thing to stand up for, and then stand up for it when it's convenient for you, and there's a seat on the bus.
Doc Johnson, as usual, amazing stuff. I just want to point out, we got Flag Day coming up in the middle of this month for Gabe Kapler, so watch out for that. And then 4th of July. I don't know, you probably can't protest on the 4th of July. Labor Day, can't do it on Labor Day. I don't know.
Maybe he's worried that he's insulting people. Pride Month. I mean, he'll find some reason. He'll find some reason that he can't start the protest until it's absolutely convenient. But hey, you know what? Everybody's got to fight their own way.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.